You know what time it is. It's your boy Big, and I'm back with another episode of Bigg's Business Nuggets. Now, this series of short videos really came about because I asked people for topics, and an overwhelming number of you out there were asking about more topics about business and marketing, and I'm happy to deliver. Now, recently I also asked about more specific topics that I wanted to speak about on video because I love doing video for you to be able to allow you to watch, learn, but also share with more people. And one of the main topics that kept coming up was this question of, Big, how do you close more sales, or how do you have higher conversions? And I thought I would touch on a technique that has been around for ages. It's been named many things, but it's a sales technique that's neither slimy nor sleazy, works very well because it's all about making a connection between you and the other person. It's all about making a connection between your product or service and the other person and what they may or may not need. In this case, if they need it and the connection is there, then a close, okay, or a conversion will happen. And that technique, again, goes back to Tom Hopkins or Zig Ziglar or any of the old school closing salespeople were always proud to say that they were salespeople. Because again, let me digress a little bit. There's nothing wrong with being a salesperson, but understand that people want to buy, they don't want to be sold. And on earlier videos, I talked about the way that you can make more sales is because people know, like, and trust you. And that's a connection. That's a connection that you make. And so let's talk about this technique, and it's simply called feel, felt, found. Now, some of you might be smiling because you've heard it before, and maybe you haven't used it because it's so old. But the truth is, most successful salespeople and/or network marketers and/or internet marketers are using this exact sales and closing technique, even if they don't call it that, because they're making a connection between someone and their product or service and filling that gap, okay, between someone who's just looking and someone who eventually buys. And the way it goes is this: you simply want to open up some type of conversation that allows you to find out what that person's pain or pleasure is, so that you can basically make a connection with them, make a connection of your service or product with them as well. So it would go something like this, okay? Again, this is the feel, felt, found method. Let's say that you're chatting someone up on Facebook or Instagram or some other situation, and you simply ask them the question, hey, Joe, how's it going in your business? And Joe may come back and say something like, you know, I wish it could be better. I'm looking to get more leads or sales conversions. And you would come back and say something like, Joe, I totally understand how you feel. I once felt that same way. But what I've found is by using this technique or this product or service, it's allowed me to close more leads, to eventually turn those leads into more conversions, and ultimately to be able to make more money. Is that something that you would be interested in, Joe? And then let Joe tell you whether or not there's an interest there. Because you basically are selling him, but you don't want to sell him. Let him tell you or not, rather he would want to buy from you. And again, it's not that quick, okay? It's a conversational tone that happens over time in speaking to someone, but that's to give you a general idea. One of the best ways is to work that feel, felt, found into your conversation. You can also work feel, felt, found into advertisements. Think about this. Any post that you do on social media where you're eventually putting a link to a product or service, wrap your head around how you can use that feel, felt, found technique in order to make that sales pitch flow. I understand how you feel. I found that, and therefore, okay? So look into that. feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but I found that X, Y, Z. So on that note, this is your boy Big. I hope you found that pretty amazing. If you feel that you'd like more information on the feel, felt, found technique, hit me up. Be happy to talk to you a little bit more about it. But as I always say, this is your boy Big, and I'll see you on the next friggin' video.